Today we're going to take a look at the two new Warhammer Plus exclusive models. Now you may be thinking to yourself, where have you been for a week? You haven't uploaded for a solid 8-9 days? But you might not be thinking that at all, you might not have noticed. But just in case you were, I was on holiday. Normally, before I go away for a week, what I do is I absolutely slam myself into the floor the week before the holiday, making videos to go out in the week that I'm away. But generally what that means is that I then set them to go live whilst I'm away, and then I just spend the entire holiday checking my phone to make sure that things have gone live and to see whether the videos are doing okay. And I didn't want to do that this time. I wanted to actually take a break, so I just didn't bother. If you're thinking to yourself, did that not wreck the channel? Yes, it did. But I had a lovely stress-free week anyway, so I'm not too bothered. Besides, we've got some fun stuff to look at. This week's going to be pretty jam-packed because we've got a new Emperor's Children Terminator, Praetor, I believe, that we need to take a look at. There's been some new Escher bikes we need to take a glance at as well. There's been quite a lot of stuff to catch up on, so we'll cover all of that over the course of this week. So this is the man himself, and I actually really like this largely because I'm getting massive nostalgia waves off this, and this is from a time before I even got into 40k. This is based off some old artwork. This showed up on the cover of White Dwarf in 1995, if the 1995 Golden Demon rules and categories and aside thing is anything to go by, and the original artwork was by Mark Gibbons. This sculpt, I believe, is Darren Latham's work. I mean, let's face it, Darren Latham always does exceptional work, but this has just brought that piece of art to life. It's just pretty much stepped off the page into physical form, and I love it for that. So there are some little changes. The gun is maybe a little bit smaller, a little bit more reasonable perhaps, but the chain fist is pretty much spot on. All of the accoutrements, the various tubes and symbols and chains and grenades and skulls, all of that has been taken directly onto the model. In fact, even the paint job is pretty much the artwork, but done on this sculpt. I love this. I really like it. This is kind of what I'd like to see more of, like that old artwork being brought to life in model form. I don't have anything to complain about with this model. Firstly, Terminator's a badass. Love me a Terminator, so that's always going to be a positive. And making it this true to that art without it looking... It doesn't look dated. It looks like slightly older in style, but the fact that they've given it a modern paint job that also echoes the artwork as well, that's quite a fine balance to kind of take, I think, and they've nailed it. The fact is, this could very easily have come out looking quite goofy, quite dated, and I don't think it has at all. I think this has just come out looking like a really solid, if a bit more like retro, World Eater's Terminator. It's still menacing, it's still threatening, there's a lot of nice kind of chaos iconography and filigree going on, the armour is nice and ornamented. I just think they've done a really good job with this. I really would not be adverse to seeing more like older artworks brought to life through models like this. I mean, when you consider they did something similar with Mephiston as well, like clearly this is an approach that works, you know? And as you can see from the different angles, it's really nicely proportioned, proper classic Terminator, and I can't get over how good the paint job is. Like, the paint it's really nice. There's a lot of non-metallic metal going on, but it really lifts it in a similar way as to how the artwork was done. It's really spot on. The only thing that's missing is the little claw tips on the end of the chain fist fingers. That's it. I feel like pretty much everything else is incredibly, almost like one-to-one reproduction from the artwork to the model, and I love it. That's just a solid 10 out of 10 for me. It's just a solid 10 out of 10. Now we also have Mibyllorr? Darkfang. Miss Darkfang. Let's just say that. Chaos Sorceress. Oh, that might be a missus. She might be married. I don't know. It's hard to tell whether there's a wedding ring under the gauntlet, but you know, we'll just stick with Miss Darkfang. That'd be fine. No matter how I pronounce that first name, it's not going to be correct. You know it, I know it, why even bother? I quite like this, mostly because of the Chaos Familiars there. The Chaos Familiars are fun. It's not a new thing, there's been Chaos Familiars for a while, Chaos Familiars were taken off the store a while back, I believe. There's a bunch of very old sculpts, including the little tiny Chaos Warrior, so it's nice to see that come back. I'm also really appreciating the little Elden Ring jar that's also a mimic, marrying two of my favourite things there, D&D and Elden Ring, absolutely seamlessly brought together to create a little cooking pot with legs that also has horrific teeth in it. Love that. Would take this just for the little pot alone. I wasn't too bothered by the little green, Murloc. I don't know what that is. Well, I mean, it's a Chaos Familiar of some kind. I wasn't too keen on the Murloc with the horn made of bone until M. Robinson, who does some of the Warhammer TV painting stuff, until she used the pun trombone. And then I was all on board with that, and now I like it. What can I say? I'm fickle. I'm incredibly fickle. The little cult dude looks ridiculous and fun. I do like the little scrolls. That's a nice detail. To hell with trying to paint text, though. I hate that. Overall, the familiars themselves are really cool. I do quite like Miss Darkfang herself, although there's a little bit... I'm not 100% on the head for this one. I like the hoof. The hoof's nice. The armour looks cool. I like the fact that it's got the, like that kind of cloak. I guess more sort of a dress. I don't really know what you call that, because it seems to wrap all the way round, but it doesn't go all the way up, I don't think. It looks like it's separate from the cloth hood that's going over the top of the armour. Who knows? Whatever it is, I do like that, but it does look a little bit like there's only one leg, and I suspect that's probably because there is. I think the other leg is supposed to be inside all that cloth, but it doesn't quite... I don't know, there's just something about it that doesn't quite look right to my eye, and I'm not a big fan of that head. That head is... It's just not for me. It's just not my sort of style, I don't think. The overall pose is quite cool. I do like the book with teeth that's being stood on and has already been stabbed, presumably because it kept talking back. Or alternatively, maybe it was correcting the pronunciation all the time. Like if you're reading a book and you keep getting the words wrong and it keeps telling you that you're getting the words wrong, you would stab that book. I would stab that book. I would, even though I need all the help I can get with pronunciation, I would still not be having that, because that just feels like something is overstepping its boundaries, you know? I have to admit, even from the other angle, that positioning on the cloth where the second leg should be, it's just not doing it for me, which is a real shame, because I like the overall shape of the armour. I like the fact you've got one arm that is lightly armoured compared to the other. I like the fact that you've clearly got a spiked shoulder pad on both sides, but one is covered by cloth. That's actually a really nice touch. I do like that a lot, but there's just something about that leg that bothers me a little bit. Overall not bad, but the head and the leg are not to my personal taste. The kind of floating chaos symbol behind her head is really cool, and I like the one that's on the staff as well. Admittedly, the standout thing for this model for me is it's the book. It's got to be the book. It's got to be the toothy, back-chatting book. Any chance you could sell that separately? That seems unlikely, doesn't it? I'd totally buy it, though. 100%. So there you go. If you decide to renew your Warhammer Plus subscription, if you were signed up to begin with, or you decide to sign up, then this is what's on offer in terms of your free miniatures this time round. Honestly, these are both way stronger offerings than the first ones. I'm just going to say that right now. These are way better than the first exclusive ones they offered. The Vindicator Assassin was fine, it was cool, but it felt like the big draw for me was the fact that it was in a big chunk of scenery, and I really liked the Orc. I actually went for the Orc, but these are just better, more interesting, more characterful. There's more going on. There's they've thrown a bit of nostalgia in there as well. They've really done something to make them actually feel like special miniatures this time round. Whereas I think, to be honest, the first round they were fine models. Nothing to complain about. I don't think they were bad. They didn't have any issues, but they weren't as special as these feel special. And if you're going to have special models to try and sell you a special service, then they need to really stand out from the crowd, which I think these two mostly do. I say these two, it's not really two, it's these 6, isn't it? But you know what I mean. Anyway, what do you think of these? Let me know in the comments down below. It's good to be back. We will continue blasting through the week. Got loads of stuff planned. Also, going to be starting doing live streaming on the YouTube channel. So we're going to start that hopefully next week. We'll see how it goes. Doing some painting and stuff. I know that at the moment a lot of other people are doing like the face cam thing, and they're sitting and chatting, which is fine if you can do it. I don't think that is the way to go for me. I don't think I'm going to have the attention span for that. I don't think I'm going to be able to I don't know, I want to do something different. I want to do some hobby stuff, so we'll probably do hobby hangout stuff instead, just because I enjoy painting and modelling and talking at the same time, and I think probably it's going to be more fun that way than just sitting talking, which that's not any sort of judgment on anyone who does that. I mean, I watch Mikey and I watch Liam Dempsey as well, and I like their streams, but just because I like what other people do doesn't mean I'm specifically capable of doing that myself. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you'd like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.